Good morning. Uh, for those who don't know, my name is Jeff Williams. I am now the past chair of the board. Often I come up here. Yeah, you can celebrate that out with the old and with the new. No, Janine Armstrong and Lori's here. Lori Silverthorne's our vice chair, and Janine Armstrong are the new chair of the board. I'm still on the board, and it doesn't matter if you are or aren't on the board. I love this church. I think it's a great place to be. I don't need a title to love Calvary. What I am going to talk to you about is finances. So this is something at this time of year. This will be an act of worship. I guarantee it. So just so you know, at this time of year, we do have a givings need. I don't know if the November financial report's been out. I think October was in the Calvary Connects, if you get the weekly emails. But at the end of November, the shortfall was about $30,000. And that's not uncommon for Calvary at this time of year. We find that our givings go way up in December. We've seen this happen year over year. If you look at our budget and divide it by 12, adds up to about a bit over $30,000 a year would be the amount of givings you would need if you kind of averaged it all out. What typically happens though is in the month of December we get about 2 or 3 times what one normal month would be, if you will. And so that's where we're at today, and we're looking for that to happen again. So I am here specifically just to put that ask out. But so when there's a need, so this is a financial need, what do you do with that? So here's one principle I'm going to give you. This doesn't just apply to financial needs. So one thing is to look back to testimonies of, God, I have this need. This could be any need for you, just by the way. It works beyond finances. I have this need. What do I do with this? And to look back at, God, where have you provided or done something in this area in my life or in someone else's life before? I call that a testimony. And so for this one, for Calvary, if you look at our finances for the past several years, probably as long as I've come here, which is about 10 years, I think, you will see this shortfall where we're at today, and we have a need. And year after year, we have seen the provision come through and get to where we need to be. We're still here today, right? This is not just, good things happening. This is a testimony of what God has done. And you can look at that too if you feel like you have some need, I encourage you to try and look back, God, where have you provided in this area? Or talk to someone else who's had that same need as you, and God, where have you provided for them? So again, for finances, God has done things in people's, like we're talking about Calvary, but I know in this congregation, God has worked miracles in people's finances too. So if you have that need, find those people and talk to them to get a testimony of what God's done. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off topic now. So what do you do with the specific needs? So one, for givings at Calvary, you can go to the website, and there is, on one of the sub-tabs, it has givings. You can e-transfer the church. There's Canada Helps. There's PAR. PAR is you can fill out a form, and it's like a monthly withdrawal that it'll take out. Or if the website's not your thing, or if it is, you can write just checks to the church and mail them to the church or drop them off at the church. So there's lots of ways to give. I encourage you to, I know for me personally, I give, my wife and I, as a family, we give through PAR monthly, but we also stop, I am one of the people that's making and I know I'm not the only one, I'm one of the people that's making a jump, because I look at the end of the year and look at what we've brought in and make sure that I'm giving, that my givings are in line with what we brought in. We use, as Calvary, we use a tithe, which is 10%. So I encourage you to consider that. If you give 10%, there could be people giving more than that, or if not, look at, what maybe I could take a step closer to that specifically. And one thing I'll say too about finances is often there's a lot of fear and anxiety, right? This talk, someone from the board coming up to talk about finances. Yeah, so it can be, I'll just call it out, I don't know why. There's worry. It could be beyond Calvary that, just a part of our culture, why there's this fear or worry about someone talking about finances or giving. I want to just tell you that if that's what comes to you, that fear and the worry, that is an important thing to realize. Not in terms of, my response should be to give more. If you feel that, you should ask God, why am I feeling worried? Or why am I feeling anxious even about these, you could still be giving enough and still feel worried about it. Often, that could be God trying to highlight something to you that he wants to help you get freedom from, right? That can be a moment where it comes into maybe giving more isn't what you need to do. Maybe it's seeking prayer for something. And you can go to our teams here for prayer or your friends for prayer. So I encourage you, like in this moment, it may feel fine, but even later today or sometime, if you go and look at your finances and you're doing that kind of annual check-in like I do, and you get that sense, like, ask God, what are you trying to tell me about this? Or what am I trying to learn? Because God is abundant. He is in control. He provides, again, this is finances, but he provides for our whole self in all sorts of ways. And we have seen miracles. We've seen financial miracles. We've seen physical miracles. We've seen spiritual, emotional miracles as this church. We know that God comes through and he can do those things. So, ask God about that. Another thing about Calvary is we are part of the bigger body. So that's why we highlight in this month of, like, giving is a theme for this time of year, but that's why we highlight other ministries, because we are just one part of God's kingdom too, and we like to highlight the areas that we partner with, because they have financial needs too, and we as a church do want to bless these other ministries that we partner with. So we're going to put on a video for this week's area that we want to highlight.